I got a new lighting system which I'm trying out and I'm pretty excited, but I've been here for half an hour and I've not actually even started filming. But I wanted to do the unboxing for the month of February. I waited until the day of my birthday because I was like, so I can get to open books on my birthday. But before we go into the video, I actually wanted to show you what my mother-in-law did for me. She painted these and I thought it was amazing. I'm gonna hang it somewhere in the studio. I just opened it today. She came from Italy and she left it for my birthday, so this morning I opened it and was like, this is so cool. So yeah, it's hand painted and I love it. And yeah, wanted to show you for my birthday. So yeah, we are trying this new thing. Now I've got, even the sun is shining today. I feel like now I'm overdoing it. Usually my lighting is very poor and today is like too much, almost like I'm almost blinded. But I've got here a couple of, one special edition by FairyLoot, my Evernight from last month, which I did not open, and I get to open it for my birthday. I waited on purpose to open it in February for my birthday rather than January. I am missing the YA book for FairyLoot, and yeah, without further ado, let's start. I would start with probably the Broken Binding just because I already know what it is, and then we might do my FairyLoot, my special edition FairyLoot, and finally the Evernight. So, the Broken Binding. The Broken Binding is starting a new series, a new trilogy with this book, I believe. And I know what it is, I don't remember the title though. So we're gonna open it together. Probably not in my face if possible. Aha! So since last month I have been doing my unboxing slightly differently. All I do is I show you the book, I unbox it on camera clearly, but then I do a close-up while telling you the synopsis in the background. So I'm gonna do the same for this month. And so okay, the book is Mask of Mirror. With the Broken Binding, the only thing is that you know already what you're getting into, like it's not a surprise like with FairyLoot most of the time. Unless you get spoiled somewhere else, usually with FairyLoot you don't know what it's in the box, but with the Broken Binding you know, at least you can decide if you want to skip or not. So this is Rook and Rose. I don't know if it's the title of the first book or the title of the series, Rook and Rose. I am not sure, we will find out together. I really like the mock-up, I really like the aesthetic of this. Let's see. Oh yeah, it looks very cool. So okay, I believe then Rook and Rose is probably the name of the series because the first book is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to show you a close-up while telling you about the synopsis about this first book in a trilogy. I guess the first thing that stood out for me about this book is the fact that M.A. Carrick is actually a joint pen name for Marie Brennan, who's the author of the memoir of Lady Trent, which I read the first one. And then the second author is Alec Helms, and the author who is the author of Adventures of Mr. Mystic. I never heard of that one. And yeah, they met and decided to write a book together. So I guess if I can spot the differences in the writing style, if it's actually perfectly blended in, and I would have never known it was two authors if I had not read it from the back. But let's see. So this is a trilogy and it's the unmissable start to the Rook and Rose trilogy. So the Rook and Rose is the name of the trilogy, and it's described as a rich and dazzling fantasy adventure in which a con artist, a vigilante, and a crime lord must unite to save their city. And a bit more in depth, it says that this story starts with Renata, who is a con artist, and she has come to the sparkling city of Nadezra with one goal in mind, which is to trick her way into a noble house and secure her and her sister fortunes. And as she's drawn into the aristocratic world of the House of Trematis, she realizes that her masquerade is just one of many surrounding her. And as corrupted magic begins to wave its way through Nadezra, the poisonous feuds of its aristocrats and the shadowy dangers of its impoverished underbelly become tangled. I'm not gonna deny a bit of apprehension in reading a series that it's really not that well known, and I've heard of it a couple of times here and there, but not many people are shouting its praises. Said that, I do tend to have sometimes very unpopular opinions, liking what other people don't and vice versa, and I think it's always worth a try and seeing. Hopefully the whole trilogy will be a win, or at least I think like if a trilogy has like one weak book, I am still okay with reading the trilogy. It's only when it's not good at all, any of the books, or I get quite disappointed if the first book is amazing but then it just goes downhill. If you read this trilogy, please let me know what you thought about it. I would really benefit from hearing your opinion on it, what to expect. If you've been around my channel a bit, do you think I will like it or not? Don't spoil it, but is it like fast-paced, is low-paced, character-driven, plot-driven? Some of those things are helpful for me to know, because if I'm in the right mindset when I go into a new book series, I might adjust my expectations accordingly, and that usually leads to less disappointment. But yeah, let me know if you know anything about this. Okay, let's move on to my FairyLoot. This is the adult book for the month. It's a fantasy subscription. Now I've got a bunch, so I am not subscribed to their like steamy adult steamy one, romance one, got lost there. Divine Descent, it says. I have just the adult fantasy book, and for now that is enough. Let's get a sneak peek of the pages, which are just black for this month. And then the book in itself is The Scorpion and the Night Blossom. The immortality trials are about to begin. I have never heard of this book, but we're gonna look at it together. Very nice spread pages. But yeah, let's get into the synopsis. The immortality trials offer a second chance in a brutal war that are open to any mortal willing to risk the journey to the immortal realm. The price for completing them is eternal life. However, first they must survive. Anne Ying knows the prize can heal her dying mother, and that she'll need all the help she can get if she's to complete them. But when a rival contestant, both powerful and handsome, promises protection and a chance to survival for both Anne and her mother, she will need to find out quickly whether she can truly trust the stranger she's falling for, or if he's the most dangerous player of all, for herself and for all the realm. And the author, she is the internationally best-selling author of the Song of the Last Kingdom duology and the Blood Hair trilogy. So it sounds like we're dealing with deadly competition and potentially unlikely alliances that turn into love interest / traitor. We will see. The author has written a couple of other books that I am familiar with, but I don't know if I'm just familiar with the titles or if actually if I've read any of them. I will have to look up on Goodreads because my memory is failing me right now. But yeah, standalone. Will I get immediately around to read these? Probably not. We will see. We will see the reviews and then go from there. I don't, overall, I enjoy it. It's not the most, personally, it's not the most stunning that they've ever done. I like the pages, but somehow it feels like, rather than not being stunning, I think that's a wrong, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that it's very, very beautiful. It doesn't feel new though. It feels like something they've done very similarly, very similar in the past. Therefore, I guess I'm not that awed by it because it doesn't feel anew. It doesn't feel like something I've not seen before. Okay, let's do this. I think I know what this is. I've ordered this maybe a year ago. Maybe, potentially even more. And it's finally arrived. It is a trilogy, and it's not fantasy. If I remember correctly, it's not fantasy. And I'm right, it's not fantasy. This is actually my special editions of To All the Boys I Have Loved Before, which are, I'm just sneak peeking, and I am already in love. I will need to find, like, usually romance, I've got a shelf for romance downstairs, but I can't not display these in the studio, so we'll need to find a space for these. Look. These are books I read in my early 20s. Has been almost a decade since I read them. Yeah, my daughter was not born, so we're talking about almost a decade. They're coming back. But I really enjoyed this trilogy. I would have never acquired another copy. Well, I sold my other copy that I had, but I would have never acquired another copy if FairyLoot had not done what they've done with this. I didn't feel the need of it, and then FairyLoot did the immortal editions or the special editions, and I'm just like, I have to. I won't read them because they're too pretty and I don't want to ruin it. I'm gonna show you a proper close-up in a second, but let me just appreciate quickly with you how gorgeous these are. Waited a year, but it is worth it. And I'm gonna give you a synopsis just in case you don't know, but probably everyone knows because also the very popular TV show, which I also really enjoy, and yeah, worth waiting for. I think it makes sense displaying them next to each other on certain shots because they're very much the same theme, and I really loved what they did with the palette of colors and just how, you know, they use these pastel colors to make it feel like truly romantic, truly like young love, which is the really the vibe of the story, isn't it? What is the first book? The first book, which is To All the Boys I've Loved Before, it's really about Lara Jean, who keeps love letters in a hat box her mother gave away before she passed away, and she has a letter for every boy she's ever loved, until one day decides to send those letters out, which was really never the intention of Lara Jean. She had written those letters to express her feelings and to just let them go in a sense. But now the letters are out and the boys are receiving these letters, and it really starts from there. Although I did not love these as much as I loved her The Summer Turned Pretty series, I still enjoyed this trilogy. Again, I thought it was very wholesome, it was very teenage love, and it reminded me of when I was younger. I really liked also that there is a bit of humor, and there are a lot of cozy moments, a lot of sisterly moments in this series, and just family moments, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, I'm glad that I got the special editions and that they look stunning. So yeah, nothing that I need to add to my TBR. Honestly, I'm not rereading these right now. I know the story very well, but I'm so happy to have them on my shelves, and I will decide where to display them, how to display them, on what side. I'm just very glad to have a beloved series in a special edition, and I think like I'm wrapping it up. This is the ultimate edition I want of these. I'm done with these, and hopefully maybe one day I'll reread it or pass it on to my daughter, we will see. And then we have my Evernight. It's a bit of a pity that I couldn't open my FairyLoot with items, but it's okay. And now I'm struggling with opening this up, but we're almost there. Oh wow, they put like massive piece of tape on this. It's okay, it's okay. Okay, done. Inside, this is this is a quarterly subscription, horror subscription slash thriller, I believe. And this is I should have opened this in January, but I waited for my birthday. So this is the January 2025, and here is the book. Thus far, I enjoyed them all, the one they've sent. One actually ended up, one they sent me last year, The Invocation, ended up on my favorites of the year. This one I've not read or heard, well, I read, clearly I've not read it, but I've not heard of it before. It's quite a short one, and it looks sick. So, I'm opening it, I promise. It's just taking me a while. I think what they did with the eyes, I can't grab it, but what they did with the eyes are the best part. I don't know if I can top of that because I was stunning. But this is Bat Eater by Kylie Lee Baker. I absolutely have no idea what this is about, but we're gonna have a proper look at it in a second. Cora Zhang is a crime scene cleaner. But the bloody messes don't bother her, not when she's already witnessed the most horrific thing possible, her sister being pushed in front of a train. But the killer was never caught, and Cora is still haunted by his last words, Bat Eater. These days, nobody can reach Cora, not her aunt, who wants her to prepare for the Hungry Ghost Festival, not her weird colleagues, not the slack-jawed shadow lurking around her doorframe. After all, it can't be real, can it? After a series of unexplained killings in Chinatown, Cora believes that someone might be targeting East Asian women, and something must be targeting Cora herself. Soon she will learn you can't just ignore hungry ghosts. Well, first of all, crime scene cleaner? Excuse me, sign me up. It also seems it has an element of psychological, potentially horror, where she's seen this shadow lurking around her, but we don't know if it's real or not. And we absolutely have no idea what bat cleaner means, and I'm actually very eager to find out. The author is also the same author of The Keeper of Night and The Scarlet Alchemist duologies. These are YA fantasy series that I've heard of, and yeah, I think this is her debut as a horror, and I am definitely intrigued. I think I lied. I think now that I've read the synopsis, I've heard about this book. I think it was on a most anticipated release of some booktuber. I generally don't remember who, that I watched in the last couple of months, because yeah, it's a 2025 release, clearly came out in January. I think I've heard of this and now I really want to read it. I got a bit of a TBR when it comes down to horror, but it's a short one, it's written quite big, and I've heard of it, and I kind of feel like I want to be up to date. I don't want to miss with train for these, and so I might read these actually very soon. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have heard of these, if you read the fantasy subscription. Let me know if you want to stick around, subscribe, chat with me in the comments down below. I hope you take care of yourself and I'll see you next time. Ciao!